But the pregnancy itself, you picture the social media pregnancy being Mother Earth and skin glowing and
the robe.
You picture the whole thing, right? Like being Beyonce and sitting on the chair and tilting, and you picture that whole thing for pregnancy, and then you are nauseous for 9 months. Like, seriously? I think it could be false, but I tell myself that if I had the emotional support during pregnancy, it would have been different.
It would have been different.
But I didn't.
Okay.
And I wish I had that. And so I learned a lot of self-dependence. Not independence, but self-dependence.
Self-dependence, okay.
Throughout this process, again, what was the big picture?
Yeah.
What was the big picture was I wanted to establish this very big clinic that would be a one-stop shop for all ages.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 9 of the Dairy Mom podcast. My name is Diana Adair. I am the founder of the Dairy Mom. We inspire, educate and empower mothers who may be struggling to reclaim their dreams or who may have temporarily set aside their ambitions due to the demands of motherhood. On the Dairy Mom podcast, we bring you powerful stories from audacious mothers around the world who defy societal expectations and harness their strength to juggle both roles of motherhood and the pursuit of their personal and professional ambitions successfully. Before we begin today's conversation, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of our new subscribers and thank you to all who have been with us from the beginning. I appreciate you all very much. Today's episode is the last part of our 3-part series on single mom to CEO. We are honored to continue with our conversation with our special guest all the way from the United States of America, Chelsea Debrah. Chelsea is a single mom of a 2-year-old boy and an 8-year-old girl. She is a certified family nurse practitioner and the owner and CEO of Orchid Wellness, a primary care and wellness clinic in Carrollton, Texas. She started her clinic to be able to provide compassionate and comprehensive care for all ages. Chelsea holds 2 bachelor's degrees and a Master of Science in Nursing degree, all from the United States of America. Her story is about staying the course no matter what life throws at you and being able to remain your own cheerleader to be able to change your corner of the world. If you are inspired and ready to wrap up the conversation with Chelsea, please grab your pens and notebooks and join me as we speak to our special guests.
I didn't feel like I had an excuse. I wasn't a 13-year-old girl or a 12-year-old girl or even an 18-year-old girl. And I am very, very much pro-choice. But at the same time, again, pro-choice meaning I had the freedom to make that choice. And I just didn't feel like it was a choice I needed to make at the time.
Okay.
And so I just told myself, this is not a good excuse. It being inconvenient is not a good excuse. Because I was about to be done with school. I hadn't started my career in nursing. And there's no way that it says you can't be pregnant and be a nurse. So why not?
Why not? Right.
And again, like I said, I'm one of the people that throughout my pregnancy, I'm nauseous throughout the whole pregnancy. I remember being pregnant with my daughter and for my baby shower for my daughter. throwing up at my baby shower. I mean, I was about 7 months pregnant. And I mean, being pregnant when you're reminded all the time that this baby is not wanted is very hard. Yeah. And getting to the point where it's like you're trapping me into to parenthood or anything like that. That's also very hard to hear. Difficult. And so it created this environment where there was a lot of sadness for whilst I was pregnant with my daughter. And then, women are who we are, and we never learn our lessons, and rinse repeat for my son. But the pregnancy itself, you picture the social media pregnancy. Picture being Mother Earth and skin glowing and
the robe.
You picture the whole thing, right? Like being Beyonce and sitting on the chair and tilting, and you picture that whole thing for pregnancy. And then you are nauseous for 9 months. Like, seriously? My feet were so big. Like, I went from a size 9 to size 11 when I was pregnant. I mean, for my son, I gained like 90 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I remember when I was pregnant with my son, my mom used to laugh at me because I was like, I feel like I've been cut in two each time, because I mean, he was almost 9 pounds when he was born. And when I would sit in the car and drive to work, and getting up from the car to work was so painful. And I remember telling my mom, each time I sit down, I'm getting up, I feel like I've been cut in two. Wow. Adding that to nausea, adding that to the emotional part. And it's like, it was very hard. And I'm like, pregnancy is a scam. It's a big scam. Seriously.
Pregnancy is a scam.
It's a big scam. Because the pregnancy you picture is not what you end up having.
And I think in my first episode on this podcast, that was what I shared, right? My first episode, I was like, why didn't anybody tell us that pregnancy was this hard? Like, you only see beautiful pictures on social media, and it's all nice and like well taken pictures on point. Nobody tells you about the pain, and one of the reasons I actually started this podcast, because I'm like, no, there's something that needs to be said, like spoken. We have to tell the real stories as authentic as they are, right? And put it out there.
Yes, because pregnancy is really ridiculous. And apart from, me, I think it could be false, but I tell myself that if I had the emotional support during pregnancy, it would have been different.
It would have been different.
But I didn't.
Okay.
And I always tell myself, I wish I had that. But my children, like, they're such a joy, and being their mom is such a beautiful thing in my life that I feel like it's worth it.
So the emotional support part, it happened for your daughter and your son as well.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, I guess I didn't learn my lesson, but I learned it eventually. Right? But I think for my daughter, it was okay. It was unexpected. I gave an excuse that, okay, because it was unexpected and everything, that makes sense. But then for my son, it broke my heart because it was an expected pregnancy, so why didn't things be different?
You were married at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why didn't things be different?
Yeah.
But I mean, I say this. I put the same variables together, the same people together, the same environment together, the same house together, and I expected a different result.
Mm.
You know, um, why will I expect a different result when the variables are the
Everything,
same?
all the variables are still
Everything
same.
is the same. The only thing that was different was the marriage, but that piece of paper, except
Everything.
the people, even the house, the
Everything is
environment
the
was the
same.
same. And so I learned a lot of self-dependence, not independence, but self-dependence,
Self-dependence. Okay.
um, throughout this process. And when I got to the point where I have learned to completely live without this person and be okay,
Mm-hmm.
then the question became, why live with this person?
Okay.
Right? Because the me that I am without this person, I like that person way more than the me that I am with this person and my children. So I had to decide between me with this person and my children and the emotional stuff that came with that, and then me without this person and my children and the emotion that came with that. And the emotion that came without the person and my children was way better me. And so I had to learn that. And I decided, okay, I am living my God purpose of changing my corner of the world, and waking up every day with the big picture in front of me and taking the little steps to that big picture. And I just have to do the work. And I just have to apply myself, do the therapy, exercise, eat properly, like do the things that needs to be done. I mean, I go to bed at 8 o'clock, latest by 8:30.
You're done.
If it's an emergency, please call 911. Don't call me because I'm sleeping. I need to sleep. I need to relax. I need to spend time with my children.
Yeah.
Those are the things that can make me wake up
At
to
5:30.
really do the things that I want to do. And I'm intentional about my therapy sessions. I'm intentional about, I go for swim class. I'm intentional about that. I'm intentional about exercise, and I'm intentional about eating properly. You know, make breakfast, drop off the kids, come to work, see patients, be that person that my patients can dump on.
Yep. Yep.
And walk out of their door and feel like they're okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those things cannot happen if I don't take care of me.
You. This is beautiful, Chelsea.
I am the investment. Yeah. I am the investment. When it comes to my children, I am the investment. When it comes to my business, I am the investment. And if I don't invest in me, all those things cannot work.
This is beautiful, Chelsea. This is so beautiful. Like, I've learned a whole lot. Like, and I like how you took your time to break things down for yourself. Like, trying to unpack everything and thinking through me with this person, the children, how does that make me feel? Me without this person, with the children, how does that make me feel? And then you deciding, this makes me feel better, this doesn't make me feel better, so I'm going to choose what makes me feel better. And having the courage and the strength to choose what makes you feel better, and always keeping your eyes on the bigger picture, and going for that. It takes a lot of strength, a lot of courage, a lot of resilience, and I want to say thank you for sharing that piece. And I hope that any mother or anybody out there who's going through a similar challenge and contemplating what to do, what not to do, I hope they find that strength to be able to go through. I want us to wrap up, but before that, I mean, you said so many things that I've learned, but what would you say you attribute your success to?
Be my own cheerleader.
Okay.
Don't wait for somebody to tell you you're doing a good job.
All right.
because like my business website. So when I started my business, I had a different domain name. I worked with somebody that was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna build your website for you and all of this. And then when I was separating from myself from that person. That person took my old domain name and they wouldn't give it to me. And in a matter of days, I had to have a new website, but I didn't have the funds. Remember, I was seeing patients for
For
free,
free,
right?
yeah.
So I didn't have the funds to pay somebody to build a website for me. So I learned how to build a website.
Oh.
It took a lot of time, but I learned how to build a website.
So you
You
built your
know,
current website by yourself?
yes, I built my current website by myself, um, and I was like, okay, I need a website. This is what I needed to do, and I'm gonna learn how to do it, and I did it. Um, we There's always another way.
Okay.
There is always another way. It might not be the way that you pictured it to be,
To be.
but there's always another way. And don't wait for people to give it to you. Like, when I was starting the business, I mean, I won't recommend this to anybody, but when I was starting the business, I was like, okay, I don't want a business loan. I don't want to be in debt trying to start a business. I'm gonna try to use my own credit to start a business. And in the middle of it, when I was starting, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this small space. I'm gonna start on a very small scale, and then I toured my current clinic space, and initially I was looking at like an 800 square feet space, and then I toured my current clinic space, and it used to be a clinic, but it was almost 3,000 square feet.
That's big.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, if I find a space that's 800, and then it's 8 minutes away from where I live. So it was okay if I use 800 square feet space, and I expand and I become very big, then I'm gonna have to move, and each time you move, you're going to have to lose people.
People.
So do I want to do all of that, or do I want to go to this 3,000 square feet space and grow into it? And I was very confident about what I could do with the business.
Okay.
And so I said to myself, well, I'm gonna get this 3,000 square feet space, and with budgeting and everything, I was like, okay, like I should start making some money by the end of the year. And then it took me like over a year to even be fully credentialed.
Yeah.
But again, what was the big picture? What was the big picture was I wanted to establish this very big clinic that would be a one-stop shop for all ages. And so that meant there are days that I slept in the clinic.
Oh. Wow.
Yes, there were days that I worked overnight at my overnight job, and I would work overnight, and then I'll come here. I would brush my teeth and stuff over here, change, and start seeing patients.
Right.
And then
The
by the time the day is over, I'm completely tired, so I will sleep here because I had another overnight shift.
Wow.
There were days that I did that, but again, those were the little steps that I needed to take for the big picture. And I just put my head down. I just did what I needed to do. Like, a lot of times we are looking for people to sympathize. We are looking for people to empathize and prop us up, but learn to be your own cheerleader. Learn to find a way around it. Like if somebody takes your website, let them have it. Build another one. It's a website.
Yeah.
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 If you don't know how to manage it, find somebody who knows how to do it. Let them teach you. We are in a world right now that information is so available.
Like you can go on YouTube and learn literally anything.
Yes. And so, why are you waiting? Find a way. Don't wait for somebody to tell you, oh, you can do it. Oh, you have this person. Oh, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it, because what's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst? What's the worst that could happen?
You failed. So what?
So what? You failed. So what?
So what? Right? Like, if you don't try, you're not gonna know if you will fail or not.
You're never gonna try. You're never gonna know.
But what if you fail? But what if you succeed?
Yeah.
Right? But what if you succeed? What if
Yeah.
you become an inspiration? What if, you know, somebody is praying. Somebody is praying for a provider that's going to listen to them to help them solve their problem.
Problems.
Right? And you're over here sitting on your hands. Somebody's praying for a dentist that will find a problem that they have. And you're over here sitting on your hands.
Because
You know,
something hasn't worked out, and so
yeah,
you're
because
thinking.
all the ducks are not in a row. Right? Just do it. You are the answer to somebody's prayer.
Prayer.
You know, somebody's praying, God, have mercy that I meet somebody who is going to help me do this or that.
Yeah.
You are that answer.
Yeah.
But you're sitting down. Somebody's praying for a foster parent, and you are crying because you don't have your own children. Somebody's praying to be adopted, but you're crying because you don't have your own children. Right? So, because you're just hoping that, well, what if I adopt and I have my own children? What if you do? Does that stop you from loving that child that you adopted?
No.
So we put it, even when it comes to working out. Somebody's like, I can't work out if I don't have workout clothes on. Right?
An excuse as little as that.
I work out in my pajamas. We give ourselves little obstacles. Right? Like, somebody's like, I don't have time to work out. But you have 10 minutes? Use it. We put little obstacles in our own way.
Block out that time. Block out that. I always say you have to know what time works best for you in terms of doing certain things. And when you find out what works for you, don't let anybody steal that time from you. Like the time that I go to work out, I make sure nobody disturbs me. Like, I don't care which email is coming through. I don't care which message is coming through. You're not going to disturb me, because that time of the morning that I go to work out, it's also a time for me to meditate. It's time for me to soak in and pour into myself. It's a time that I typically listen to some kind of motivational message and everything. So at that time of the morning, that's me having time with myself. It's a me time, and I don't let anybody take that time. I don't care what the message, I don't care what the phone is beeping. I don't care about that. It's me. It's a time for myself. And when I'm done with that, and I've taken my time to have my breakfast, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. That's when I can now come and say, okay, who messaged me? Who texted me? That is very important.
Yes. So be your own cheerleader.
This is so powerful. Tell us about Orchid Wellness. Tell us about Orchid Wellness.
Orchid Wellness is a primary care and wellness clinic. I'm in Carrollton, Texas. I provide care for all ages, from newborn all the way up. So right now, my youngest patient is about 20 days old.
Wow.
And my oldest is 89. And I provide the primary care and women's health. So I do pap smears, IUD placements, things like that. Okay. And I also do medical weight loss, IV therapy, and hormone replacement therapy. Okay. The idea is to be this one-stop shop for care, so that, whether you need medical weight loss, whether you need somebody to do your pap smear, whether you need somebody to manage your diabetes, whether you just need an annual wellness, there's this one person that's doing all of those things for you, and you don't have to repeat your story all the time, and that person can tie it all in for you, so that you are, we are treating the person. Yeah. And so we're looking at everything and treating this person,
individual,
not the obesity in one spot, hypertension in one spot, anxiety in one spot, and there are different people taking care of all those things, and nobody knows what's happening. So that's what Orchid Wellness is. Like I said, we see all ages. I own it by myself, and I'm just...
You are the boss! I like to stress on the fact that you are the boss. Chelsea, I am blown away by your story. I'm sorry, and I know a lot of mothers or women or even fathers or anybody that's going to listen to this interview will pick up something. Like if I have to give you like a summary of everything, it's going to be like a long list. I'm literally taking notes because I know what it feels like, and I know what it means to have the courage to decide I'm going to walk away from a relationship that's not serving me. I know what it takes when you have the kids and you have to take that decision because it's not serving you, and then you know that situation is also not serving your kids, and you
Yes.
knew that it was at that point when something happened and it affected the kids, and you knew that this is it, I have to get up and go because I have to protect the kids, I have to protect myself. And the road wasn't very clear for you, it wasn't perfect out there, but you still got up and said, this is the bigger picture, I'm going. And look at you now, like you're shining, you're making it happen, you're making it happen, like you're inspiring us here. You're telling us about setting boundaries, you're telling us about investing in yourself, being your own cheerleader. Like, do not wait for somebody to come and pat you on the back, because no, the person might never show up, the
Mm-hmm.
person might never show up. And so
Mm-hmm.
you have to get it going for yourself, and everything will align. And I like how you threw in the part about your faith, and you know that even though you were looking after patients for free, you still knew that God will make a way. You'll be able to pay your bills, you'll be able to keep everything going. And trust me, Orchid Wellness is going to blow up. It's going to be like big, like a couple years from now, like the way you've envisioned it to be. It's going to be that one-stop shop where everybody, whether in Texas or even outside of Texas, is going to going to come to that place. And I like how even though you were starting, you still went for a big place and said, I'm going to grow into it. That's like a big vision. That's a big vision. Like Chelsea, you are like, I don't even know what. That's a big vision because you have this big space. You have to pay for the bill. You have to pay the bills for a whole 3,000 square feet space, and you're not even getting profit. You're just seeing the patients for free because you need people to walk through the door. Oh my goodness. Chelsea, I want to thank you for coming. Like, what are your final words for moms out there, especially single moms? Because you are a single mom now. What's your biggest advice for moms out there? What's your biggest advice for anybody in any kind of situation like yourself when you've had to hit rock bottom and have to start again?
Invest in yourself.
Okay.
Invest in yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, education. Invest in yourself. Like, don't stop learning. Don't stop making sure that you know more, because nobody ever said, oh, she was overly educated.
Mm. Right.
It's always going to benefit you,
You.
right? Like, people can steal from you. People can steal your phone, can steal, your house. Your apartment can burn down,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Your apartment can burn down. Your car can be in a car crash.
Yeah.
But if you have your mind, if you have your mental stability, equilibrium, if you invest in yourself, you're always going to rise up.
That's true.
Okay? If you invest in yourself, you always have the opportunity to recreate.
To recreate.
So you have to invest in yourself.
Where can we find you?
My website is myorchidwellness.com that I created.
Kudos to you. Kudos. Because I know, I also know what work goes into it because I'm also building my own website by myself, and I know it takes a lot. And your website is like spot on, like sweet. Oh my gosh.
I will say right now I have some people that help me manage my websites because again, one of the things that I've learned is learning to delegate.
Okay.
And so I have somebody that helps me manage my websites and helps me manage my social media. But because I know about those things, I'm very, very much involved in those things. So myorchidwellness.com is my website. My social medias at Orchid Wellness Clinic, both on Facebook and Instagram. I have at Orchid Wellness weight loss. We have at Orchid Wellness IV therapy for social media and also threads at Orchid Wellness Clinic for threads. My personal Instagram is Miss Chels for Instagram. And I actually have a few Instagrams, but let's just stick with it. And yeah, that's where you can find me. I am still getting a handle of managing and balancing and
Everything.
all of those things. So yeah,
Thank you for inspiring us today, Chelsea.
of course. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to people,
Right.
to just invest in themselves.
Thank you. I know people will learn, and I can't wait for the feedback that I'm going to get from this story when it's posted. And I just want to say thank you, Chelsea. Thank you for your time today.
Of course, of course. Thank you for having me.
Wow, we've come to the end of our three-part series on Single Mom to CEO. I really hope you have enjoyed all of our conversations with Chelsea Debrah, starting from episode 7, 8, and now 9. Wow, her story is one of faith, courage, and resilience. And the two big things she said, which really stood out for me, were setting boundaries and investing in yourself. Nobody can take your education from you. Nobody can take your personal investments from you. This is so powerful. I want to say thank you all. Thank you all for staying with us up until this point. If you are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do so by hitting the subscribe button. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the Dairy Mom podcast. In the next episode, episode 10, we are going to start a new series, and that will be a new story from another mother, and you don't want to miss it. If you are yet to follow us on all other social media platforms, please do so. We are on Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn at The Dairy Mom. On Instagram, we are @the Dairy Mom. On YouTube, obviously, at The Dairy Mom. If you want to follow Chelsea, I'm going to put all of her social media handles in the description. Her website is www.myorchidwellness.com. Feel free to reach out to her, and she'll be open to having a conversation with you. And please, if you're in Texas, please be sure, if you're in Carrollton, Texas, please be sure to visit Chelsea's clinic at Orchid Wellness. Please do so. Please do so. Okay, thank you very much once again. And I want to say, as I wrap up my video, there's always one question that I ask. What is your hashtag Dairy Mom story? Join me and let's do this together. My name is Diana Ade, and I am the Dairy Mom.